What's going on, guys? Mcskillet here, and today I'm going to be doing part 2 of my skins for CSGO, where the condition only affects the brightness on, because the first video did pretty well and a lot of people commented other skins they knew of that had the same attribute. And I'm not going to be going over skins that they only have minimal wear and factory new on, because you can't really see any differences in those anyway, so I didn't think they deserved to be on this list. But anyway, let's get right into the video. And also I'd recommend you watch part 1 before you watch this video. So the first skin is the AK-47 Emerald Pinstripe. I meant to include this in the first video, but I accidentally missed it. And as you can see, the first skin on here is battle scarred, and now the second one is factory new. And as you can see, the factory new one is only slightly brighter than the battle scarred one, no actual scratches. Now the next skin is the MP7 Armor Core, and there's pretty much no difference whatsoever on this skin between factory new and battle scarred, or at least I couldn't really notice when comparing them. But yeah, so the next skin is the Desert Eagle Naga, and this is also true for similar skins like the Desert Eagle Pilot and the hand cannon that look really similar to this Deagle and have the exact same effect, where the factory new looks just like the battle scarred. But now the next skin is the SG Damascus Steel. As you can see, the battle scarred one is just a little bit darker gray than the factory new one. I'm sure the field tested one looks just like the factory new one, because that's how it is on most of these skins. And now the next skin is a sawed-off copper. This one has kind of a cool effect. The battle scar one is actually kind of green on the handle part, but now the next, the factory new version is actually copper at the same part. So it changes colors like the scout skin did in the other video, which is pretty interesting. Now the next skin is the Mach-10 Graven. This is another skin where there's pretty much no difference between the battle scarred and factory new ones. So it isn't even that much brighter, honestly. They pretty much look exactly the same, as you can see in this comparison. And now the next skin is the P250 Cartel. Of course, this is also true for the AK-47 Cartel, which I covered in my other video. I just forgot to include the P250 Cartel, which has the exact same effect as the AK Cartel, where the factory new one is just a little bit more clear, but there isn't really any scratches or anything on the battle scarred one. And now the next skin is the Scar 20 Cardiac, and on the battle scarred one it looks perfect, and it looks just like the factory new one, honestly. I'm sure the factory new one's like slightly brighter, but when I was comparing these, I noticed hardly any difference whatsoever between these two. So yeah, Scar 20 Cardiac, hardly any difference. Now, the next skin is the AK-47 Jet Set. This one's battle scarred, it still looks pretty nice, but I did notice the factory new one is a decent amount brighter than the battle scarred one, as you can see here. And there's also a lot of different, you can get a really battle scarred up one for the AK-47 Jet Set, but for these it wasn't too noticeable. And now the next skin is the C75 Victoria. The battle scarred one's kind of like a darker gray variant on the skin, but now the factory new one's a lot lighter, as you can see here. So it doesn't really affect the skin too much, besides which color of gray you prefer. And now the next skin is the P250 Mendhi. As you can see, battle scarred still looks pretty nice, and the factory new one's a little bit brighter though, a little bit more clear. But there really isn't too much difference between these besides the brightness on them. And now the next skin is the P250 Valence. All the conditions for this skin look pretty similar. The battle scarred one has a little bit of, you can see like little gray parts on it that are darker. So the factory one's a little bit cleaner, but you honestly can't notice it too well in game. They all look pretty much the same. Now the next skin is the Mag-7 Heat, as well as the Mach-10 Heat. I didn't think I needed to include both of them because they're pretty much exactly the same. But as you can see, factory new, a little bit brighter than the battle scarred. Next skin, the P90 Leather. This one is the battle scarred right here. And now the next one is the factory new one, which these look very similar as well. And also, I thought I'd go over skins that people thought should be in this list, but they really shouldn't be, like the P2000 Ivory. As you can see, there's some, there's obviously wear and scratches on it, on the battle scarred one, and this is what the factory new one is, or looks like, so I didn't think that this belonged on the list. And also, a lot of people were saying the AK case hardened, but I mean, the battle scarred one has like black splotches on it. There's like little black, yeah, I guess splotches. I'm not exactly sure what to call them, but yeah, I don't think it's just brightness on this. There's actually some like little black marks that appear on the AK when it's battle scarred. As you can see, this is a clean factory new one, and none of that stuff is on it. So yeah, I guess you could technically consider it in the list, but I didn't really think it should be on it. But that's just about it for this video, guys. I hope you guys liked this video. Make sure you check out part 1, and I'm Mcskillet, and I'm out.